prayed for Avery for several years, and I was finally blessed with a beautiful baby, Avery Grace.
I've been Avery's doctor since she was born, actually.
She likes to run around in the backyard and chase the dog. She's pretty good about going pretty high on the swing. She was always healthy, and she would come home from school, and of course she was tired. She was 5 years old and getting on the school bus at 7 o'clock in the morning, home, a little after 3. I'd be tired too. Mono was going around her school, and since every kid had mono, I just knew it was mono.
When she presented to the clinic, she had a real low-grade fever, but she had swollen lymph nodes in her neck, in the front and back of her neck, swollen lymph nodes in her axilla, which is under her armpits, swollen lymph nodes in her inguinal region, and then she also had a big liver and a big spleen. When we see those findings in children, it's very concerning.
He came over that afternoon and said, "Man, we can't tell for sure because of a couple different factors, but it looks really suspicious for leukemia. And so you need to go up to Cook's Children's." And I'm thinking, well, he'll get us an appointment for later in the week or next week or something. And he's like, "No, shut that off. You're going right now."
I pretty much felt in that first exam that she was going to have some form of cancer.
We were thinking that we'd be gone maybe 3 or 4 days, enough time to do some tests, and we were there for 28 days.
Got to our room at maybe 5 in the morning. And the oncologist that was on call came in just shortly after that and said, "Hey, I already looked at her blood that they drew in the ER. It's definitely leukemia. She's going to have a bone marrow and going to have an implanted port so she can get her chemo. And she's going to have a spinal tap." And they just went right on through with that. We met with their whole team and we talked to them for an hour and a half. And then by noon that day, she had all those things done.
Her treatment has been all chemotherapy. She has not had to have any radiation, but there's 3 stages of chemotherapy and they're very, very involved.
When Avery first started coming for her treatments here, she was really shy and quiet, and she wouldn't talk at all. Her hair was just starting to fall out then, so she was real self-conscious about that.
She was in the hospital for several months initially with just intense chemotherapy to put her into remission.
At first, during the real rough part of that, she wasn't feeling good, but then you could tell once it started working and the leukemia was under control, then it's like, wow, she has a ton of energy now. You kind of don't realize what you're missing until you see her again later.
We are the only place in San Angelo that can do the pediatric chemotherapy, and that's directly a benefit of Children's Miracle Network. They've provided all of the education for the nurses to be able to do that. Everything from equipment to education to the facility to the partnerships with other hospitals.
Because of the Children's Miracle Network, they have the special supplies in the ER ready for these children with cancer or leukemia, because there's special things that they have to do that they don't do on the average patient that comes in. For Avery, I hope that she remembers this, and I don't want it to be a scary experience, but I want her to kind of embrace everything she's going through.
I hope she can just forget being sick and forget about it and not have that be like the overriding theme from when she was a kid.
And maybe she can help somebody else that's going through it later in life. She's a miracle because whenever we went in to Cook's, the bone marrow was 80% was leukemia. Within 28 days, it was less than 1%. So going back through all of these pictures and all of her life, there's been so many stages of just memories. She definitely is a miracle child through and through.